pressed the wrong button. I meant to click that off.
Merry Christmas.
What's up, everyone? West Ham Fan TV. Welcome back to another edition of West Ham Fan TV's post-match pint, the only West Ham United post-match football show on the internet. We've just come back. Well, do you know what? I got fucking dug out for saying this last week. We just watched the West Ham Palace game on Amazon Prime with everyone else. We're not sitting there with these fucking virtual reality goggles, but we just watched that.
We weren't there virtually.
Yeah,
I
we
didn't
weren't
watch it
there.
on Amazon Prime. I watched it on something else. Who was your commentators you had?
Some female football ex-footballer, pundit, and some bloke.
I watched it on the Fire Stick. I had Martin Tyler and Effin Akuku.
Yeah,
nice.
On the Fire Stick you can change it on Amazon.
Yeah, it was quite good. I enjoyed it, Martin Tyler.
Yeah, so we just saw West Ham draw to Palace. Scott, go for the starting lineup. You can just say the same with Balbuena missing if you want.
Yeah, be a bit cheap. Yeah, Diop coming in for Balbuena. That was the only change that we saw from the Leeds game.
It's got a slight knock, hasn't he? Diop. Sorry, Balbuena.
Yeah.
That's
Moyes said a few players had a few knocks and they were going to be assessed before the game. So obviously one of the ones that wasn't fit.
He's played a lot of football, isn't he, Balbuena? He's played the last 10 Premier League games, so he hasn't missed a minute. I can't remember him coming off in them 10 games. So, yeah, this is that time of the year where you're going to see the team get changed near enough every game. You'll see one or two players maybe dropped because you get so many games in such a short space of time. So I thought Diop was a bit mixed tonight, wasn't he? There was points where he looked decent, and then there was points for me where he lacked concentration.
I've got to say this about Diop, right? Because I think he got a lot of criticism tonight, but I think people need to realise he hasn't played since September. You know, he had the virus, and I just think he's going to need a little bit of time to get up to speed, you know?
Yeah, it's a tough one for Diop. It's a tough one for Diop because, as you say, he hasn't played. I can't remember the last time he played a minute of Premier League football. I can't.
Yeah, I think it was September. I think that's when it was, September.
Yeah,
It would have been
around that time he got the virus, wasn't it?
Yeah, what was the game before? That was the whole game he had the virus. So it would have been the game before the whole game.
That's a long time, isn't it, not to play a minute of Premier League football?
Yeah, so I think we need to be a little bit sort of understanding and be a bit patient with him because it's not easy.
I mean, I see a couple of people digging him out on Twitter after the game, saying that he was a disgrace and things like that. And I thought, why can you? Let's be honest. I mean, people were slating Balbuena when he first come back into the team, and then it wasn't until he was not dropped today, but left out that everyone was praising him. So
mate,
it's hard.
I remember when everyone was digging at Bonner like the other season. You know, when he was
I was one of them. I was one of them. Sometimes I'm too quick to sort of chuck shade on people. You know what I mean? I was saying about Bonner a couple of seasons ago about the quicker that he gets out the team, the better. He's our best player now. You know, it's one of them ones. You just got to give people a little bit of time. It's a shame that his mistake cost us a goal because on other days, sort of Fabianski sort of grabs onto that. You know, it was quite close to Fabianski, wasn't it? And he could have saved it, and he gets away with it, and we win the game 1-0. But it wasn't to be. He lost his man. It was a bit of a bad mistake, but we didn't give up.
I thought we started off really well. First 5-10 minutes, I thought we took control of the game. But then, for me, I'm happy with a point tonight because I thought Palace probably deserved the win. If I'm honest, overall, their chance in the first half, Benteke could have had a hat trick. He had that header in the beginning, scored his goal, and he had that chance right at the end of the first half where he smashed it over. But Benteke, for me, done everything in that first half what I wanted Haller to do the other end. But it was just Palace were so good today at breaking up play and stopping the balls coming in the box, especially down the left. Creswell didn't get many balls into the box today.
They done their own work, mate. That's what I would say.
They're a well-drilled team, Palace.
And I tell you what they did do as well. They pressed high, which we didn't like whatsoever. There was parts of the game there that looked very uncomfortable for us at times.
I think it's fair to give Palace a lot of credit, but I think you can't understate, I think, how poor we were for most of that half. You know, some of our key players I thought Bowen had a really poor first half and probably not really a poor game, and Fornals and just across the board, I thought the team in the first half, it just wasn't good enough, apart from Soufal. You know, I just didn't, and I thought Ben Rama worked hard, but I just think overall the levels weren't there, you know.
I think what David Moyes will have told
Go next.
Rice, sorry, Scott. What David Moyes would have told Rice and Souček today is don't push too far forward and get caught out, because Palace's attacking threat of Zaha, Eze, Townsend had a great game tonight. I thought worked hard. So that's why you didn't really see Souček making them runs like he usually does today.
Yeah, Souček as well, yeah.
Yeah, it was one of them games where, you know, it's frustrating because you look at thinking Palace at home. You know, 3 points are there. We can move up to the table into the top 5. But look, it's still a great point. It's still a good point in a game that I thought we probably didn't really deserve it overall.
Over to you, Scott.
No, you look in the first half, right? They smothered our play. You know, they made it hard. They knew what we were about, and they knew we would have to sit deep to worry about the likes of Eze and Zaha and Benteke. So they had a game plan, and they stuck to it really, really well. You know, in that first half, the only player that come out of that first half with any credit was Soufal. Everyone else was poor. You know, Ben Rama was absolutely nowhere. Fornals didn't do anything. Hilaire didn't even get the ball, to be honest. You know, Rice and Souček were pinned back, and that was the big part of what Palace did. Second half, with a change with Lanzini coming on, it gave, you know, Lanzini come on and wanted the ball, and it gave Palace a lot more to think about. You know,
I think it gives for me, in them positions, he gives a little bit more flair. It gives a little bit more of an option. He wants to come and get the ball. That's the thing about Lanzini. Even when he's been poor, he's never been afraid to come deep, get it, and turn and you know, run at players, even though it doesn't always work out for him. And I think he's getting better since that injury. I think finally he's starting to get back to the old form.
He needs to run.
I want to see him playing a little bit more from the beginning, because I think, you know, with Fornals, I like Fornals, as I said. I think there's plenty more to come from Fornals, but he's got a little bit to learn, and he's got a little bit, you know, he's got a little bit to work on.
He's a frustrating player, isn't he? Because you know,
he's one of them ones. I like him. I like his work rate. You know, I don't really understand, and you know, I'm going to sound a bit like a hypocrite here, because people say, "Well, what about you and Haller?" But I don't understand all the criticism that he gets. He misses chances. Yeah, it's frustrating. But he does bring other parts of his game. There are times when he's just not in the game. But let's be fair.
I think that's what frustrates the fan base most about Fornals is he misses too many. Even today, he had a great chance with that header in the first half. You know,
have done better.
But he works. He does work hard. The only thing he left Cresswell a little bit exposed today. He weren't dropping back and helping out Cresswell as much as he usually does. But yeah, I mean, overall, I think Lanzini, it was right to bring him on at half-time for Fornals. I think it was the right decision from David Moyes.
You know, I have to give Moyes a lot of credit, I think, because I was happy with the lineup. I thought the substitutions, the timing of substitutions, I can't fault him. And I just think that the first half, you know, I think he put the team out right, but I think the players just didn't put the energy levels in. He got into them at half-time, made the change, and we come out a lot better.
I don't think it's just about the energy levels. I just don't think Palace let us play. They smothered us. As Scott said, they smothered us. They made it very hard. They pressed high. And that's the thing about Palace. They've got some real tough players in there. Like some real tough players, some real grafters in there. But they've also got that right balance. And I was saying this about us last night, of that flair, the flair talent. You know, they've got...
I think off the ball, though, we
brilliant. Eze was brilliant tonight. And you know, we've missed out.
You say that. I was just about to say. I mean, the talk before the game was all about Ben Rama and Eze today. I thought they kept Ben Rama quiet and we kept Eze quiet.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he had a couple. Yeah, but the thing is, with Ben Rama, you look in the first 5-10 minutes, he was flicking it around and running at them. As soon as they realised that, they doubled up on him, kept him quiet, frustrated. Eze as well. We done the same. We done the same in the second half with him as well, and that's why he got taken off near the end. And he was frustrated because he knew he could have had a better game.
Yeah, but that's you know, that was their game plan.
That's the frustration with Ben Rama. You know, they doubled up on him, and then we didn't exploit the fact that there was two players going to where he was. You know, there wasn't, the movement was very static from us today, and there wasn't anyone moving to come and want that ball. And that's what I think the big difference was when Lanzini come on, is he wanted the ball. You know, he went looking for the ball, and that's the thing. If your main talisman who's going to ignite things ain't getting the rub of the green, or he's got two players on him, it's then down to someone else to grab the game by the scruff of the neck and go into them positions. And that first half, we just didn't do that. And to be honest, I think we looked tired. We looked very leggy tonight.
Moyes did say that in his post-match conference, didn't he? He did say that they may be feeling that midweek.
Yeah, you got to think a lot of them players have started a lot of games over the last, 10, 13 games.
We haven't rotated a lot, have we? Let's be fair.
No,
like every change has been forced. He puts the same team week in, week out, more or less. You know, the changes have really been forced. But you know, if Masuaku and Antonio would still be fit, you'd be able to tell what the formation and what he would play. So there are times that, especially this time of year, that a couple of people need to step out. It's just the depth is a little bit still shallow, not there for me, because there's certain positions where we just can't fill. We can't fill Masuaku's position at the minute unless
we was very lucky tonight when Creswell went down. I thought that was game over for him. But no, fair play to him. He got up, he carried on and played the rest of the game. I was a bit worried that the way he went down and they got Fredericks up straight away to come on. I thought, we can't afford to have him and Masuaku both missing for the next few weeks. But yeah, I mean, we're coming to that time now. We're near January where we can hopefully get a couple of, or 3 or 4 players to come in, and because I think we're on, what are we on now? 23 points in we something like that, and
21.
It's 21 points. Is it 21? I can't
21.
remember. Yeah, 21. I think we're 18 points short of what we finished off last season. So, we've started off the season really well. If we can keep it up, get a few good results over Christmas, getting a couple good players in the transfer window, especially a striker. Who knows? Where we can finish this season. We can look into.
I'll be honest with you, Ryan. I don't think nothing's coming in the transfer.
Yeah, I think there will, mate. I think Josh King's sort of a done deal. I'll be happy for him to come in. I think there'll be a couple of players. We've been looking at that other Slavia Prague player. I think there'll be another couple of players coming in. I don't care if they're loans, free transfers. We just need bodies to fill this squad to cover for injury.
I don't think we need bodies. I think we need quality.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, of course we need quality, but I don't think David Moyes is just going to go out and he's going to. I know we signed Dawson, but that was just like as an emergency backup. I don't think he's going to go out and sign players for the sake of it. I think Josh King, he's proven in the Premier League before, so he'll be a good addition to the squad. He'll be a good battle for Antonio and Haller when all 3 of them are fit.
I don't fancy King. I honestly don't fancy, because the thing is, I think we need someone who can come in and really battle straight away and be almost ready straight away. He hasn't played hardly any football this season, and the thing is, his goal scoring record ain't all that. I'd like to go for another hungry sort of established championship striker like that Adam Armstrong from Blackburn, who scored like 15 goals in 18 games, something like that. And maybe you do have to pay like 20 million, but that money should be there.
They're not paying 20 fucking million for no one.
No, but this is what I'm saying. But look at Ollie Watkins. If we look at Ollie Watkins, we would have put that money down for Ollie Watkins. You know what I mean? He's flying for Aston Villa. You've got to do that. And look, that is what we're missing. Is like to have that player that can challenge, that we can either bring on to change things, or can be that prolific goal scorer or whatever. We have
this argument every year. The same argument. We've been having the same argument over and over again.
But that's what I'm saying.
I don't know how many times we have to sit here and like.
Should we finish off talking about the game first and then talk about it?
Yeah, we talked about the second half, haven't we?
The only thing with the January transfer window is if we're going to get anyone, it is going to be Josh King, because it's going to be a player who's not going to cost us an arm and a leg. The player you're talking about from Blackburn, Dan, Blackburn are going to want big money for him, because they're trying to. Mate. But that's the thing. There ain't big money there, so you're looking at other. There is. There's either a free transfer. The only money that's going to be there is what we didn't end up paying for Ben Rama, because we've got Ben Rama,
which is 20 million.
That's it. But a championship player who's banging in goals is going to cost you more than 20 million, because the club ain't going to want to sell. It's
Let's get to the second half anyway.
Yeah, let's finish the game off. I mean, like Benteke, great header, great finish, great ball in from their right back Ward, and it's. I'll be honest with you, I was really impressed with Benteke first half. You know, he's got a lot of stick over the last couple of seasons. He ain't found that form that when he was at Aston Villa, and we know there's a good player there. But today, his positions he was getting into. I'll be honest, I thought both his yellow cards were very harsh tonight. Very harsh. When you look at the replays, he's looking at the ball all the time. You can't jump without lifting your arms in the air.
But do you know what the thing is? The thing is, Ryan, when I looked at that back in slow motion, for the red, he's in the air, so his arm's already there. He extends his arm over after he's already in the air, so he's up at the height, and then he brings his arm over.
That's why he's got booked. There was no malice in either of them.
Yeah, but if he don't move his arms across, he handballs it.
I don't think. To be fair, I don't think there's any malice. But I also, you've got to look at it as in the fact that you could have someone's fucking eye socket.
Yeah, no, I mean that's one thing I would say is I praise the referee for being consistent tonight.
But Andy Carroll used the second one was more of a booking than the first one. But if you've booked him in the first half for doing the same thing, don't fucking do it again. You know what I mean? Like you've been warned once.
Yeah. I'll be honest. I've seen Andy Carroll get sent off for that.
Yeah, and Carroll, you got always get them. On a regular basis. So it's one of them. Like if he didn't get sent off, I wouldn't be raging, going he should have been sent off. But he has been sent off. I'm like fair enough. It's not one I can say.
To be honest, I'd rather him stay on the pitch because as soon as he got sent off, Palace just shored it up a bit more in the middle, a bit more defensive, and it was harder for us to break them down.
They made it a lot harder.
Before that, I mean, Sebastian Haller has got his critics tonight, saying to people, but what a finish. You know, Soufal for me makes that goal. His work rate down the right, 1-2 of Lanzini, great ball in, and you can't take that finish away. And that's another goal against Palace up that end of that stadium. Andy Carroll done it, Haller done it. Whose was better? I'd probably say Andy Carroll still, but Haller, what a strike. And hopefully that gives him a bit of confidence now.
I actually think Haller's was better.
Yeah, I think Haller's he's a bit higher. He's hits it a bit cleaner.
I think it's a lot more athletic. Andy Carroll's was a goal and a half. Don't get me wrong, but I think that's a better finish because I think there's a little bit more pressure on him there.
Yeah,
there's more players around him there, and you've got to, you've really got, and he's really caught it well. I mean, that is a goal and a half.
He went for it last week against Leeds and got it this week, Yeah,
that'll be up there for goal of the month, definitely. Maybe even goal of the season.
Carroll's was a lot more spectacular, but I think Haller's was a lot harder to pull off and get right. If you get what I mean.
I was so happy for him to score that.
He's got pelters, and to be honest, I thought he worked really hard tonight. We saw him like defending back in our own half, near our box.
He needs to be. I don't know whether he needs to get himself in the gym or whatever, but he needs to be stronger. He needs to be the focal point of an attack. He don't have to be fast. Benteke got no pace, but you see him. He's the focal point of the attack. And I'll be honest with you, if Haller gets as strong as Benteke, Haller's a much better finisher than Benteke. Much better.
I'll be totally honest with you, mate. If there was any competition for Haller tonight on the bench, I think Haller might have been taken off at half time. But lucky enough, there wasn't. He stayed on, and as I said, he scored one of the goals of the season for us.
I think that's one of the first times that we actually got the ball into the box to him. Because
we worked it out that when Lanzini come on, if you look, when Lanzini come on, first thing he does, he was looking out to the right because we was having no luck down the left. Creswell, I don't know whether it was because of that little knock that he picked up, but every time he got the ball, he was checking back and he wasn't whipping it in like he has been. But for me, Soufal was man of the match. The way he dealt with Zaha tonight. Zaha's a tricky customer. He's a good player. I know he gets that reputation of diving a lot, but he's a good player. He's a tricky player, and Soufal's positioning is just every game he seems to get better and better. And I was really impressed with him tonight. He was my man in the match tonight. All day long.
Easily by far. Like he's the only one that you can say is consistent. Start to finish was unreal. And
be honest, I don't remember Zaha really getting past him.
no,
Or was they? You know, he
No,
stopped
no,
The penalty shout, weren't there, when he
when he ran
Oh,
when
yeah,
Zaha ran
box.
into him.
yeah,
You see, did you watch that? When you watch that back in slow motion, you see it. Zaha had no intention of going for the ball. He was just trying to run into the player to try and get the penalty.
that's the only time I noticed that Zaha in the game. To be honest, that's the only time I'd noticed him was when he tried to get that penalty.
No, I think they're always dangerous. Them three up front. I think they're always.
I didn't notice him. I didn't really notice him. I think
That's the thing with Zaha. He's one of them players. You know, he could have a crap 89 minutes, but for that 1 minute, he'll turn up and do something magical. You know, and
he's done it to us before. You know, he's a menace to us before. It's just like when Ayew come on. You know, I thought to myself, I'll down to 10 men, bringing him on. He scored in the last 2 games. He scored the winner in both games. Yeah. You know, you fear in it, but no, I think overall today, I think I think we got away with that today. But that's the signs of this team is that even when we go behind, our heads don't drop, and you know we battled it out and we got a point. And we ain't even mentioned him yet, but Declan Rice, I thought had another great game, breaking up play. He went. I thought that was going to go straight in the top corner. That chance he had right at the end, you know. I was on the edge of my seat. I thought, if that had gone in, I think that would have been better than Hallett's goal.
That would have been up there. That would have been nearly close to contending with Lanzini's goal, to be honest. Yeah. Right? I think Lanzini still was going to be clear goal of the season. But yeah, that would have been brilliant. But he's trying and more, Rice, and he's trying more of them shots from outside the box, and he's gonna get one sooner or later. You know, he's gonna get a banger outside.
He said that himself. One of the things he's lacking from his game is goal. But, you know, I'm just happy for him to break up the play and give it to someone else to take it.
That was one tiny little dip away from being a proper banger.
I think it was the defender just closed him down and he sort of had to rush it, didn't he? His touch just took it that little bit far. And if it had been a little bit further out, that probably would have gone in.
Yeah. It's a shame because it would have been a great winner. But on reflection, 2 points lost, 1 gained. What is it?
1 game.
Game. I'm 50-50. Overall, for looking at that game, I feel like Palace at home, you should look to be winning that. But the way the season is, you know what I mean? I'll take a point there, and I think we should learn from it. I think we'll be well up for the Chelsea game. I think there'll be a lot more up for that.
You look at that table at the minute. It is so tight up there.
Yeah.
Well, even to Palace. Palace are only 3 points, sitting 3 points behind her. You know what I mean? Like, it is so tight. And you know, Palace went to Spurs on Sunday and got a point. You know, they're no mugs, Palace. They're no mugs at all. Exactly. But I don't think there are any mugs, and everybody's beating everyone. You see Everton picking up the points again. Chelsea are faltering a little bit. We're still there, consistently picking up points.
Yeah, we're only 3 points off the top 4.
Yep.
You know, we would never have sat here back in when the season started and imagined we was going to be around this position. So it's about being consistent. And since we lost the United game, you know, we've beat Leeds away and we've got a draw at home to Palace. Now we've got listen, don't get me wrong, Chelsea's going to be a tough game, but they've lost their last 2 and we beat them twice last season. That'll be in Lampard's head as well. You know, so we can go to Stamford Bridge. There will be no crowds there, so that ain't going to be an advantage to them. We go there, we play our football, and on our day, we can beat Chelsea.
I tell you what I love is the fact that we have scored in every single game since Newcastle.
I was just going to say that, Dan.
that is the impression. That is what I love. You know, when have you ever seen that? You know, the scoring ability of this team.
12 games in a row in it, we've scored.
Yeah. 12, and I didn't know Moyes in the league has never lost back-to-back games
for West Ham
at the London Stadium.
No.
Wow, interesting. Because the stat was before. Do you remember the stat was before that he'd never won back-to-back games, and then obviously we won 3 in a row this season.
The stat will always be what they want it to be. You look into anything hard enough, you'll find something, whether it be positive or negative.
See, I thought it was all games, but was he in charge for the West Brom game that we lost in the cup?
Oh, we might. What against when Bilic was there?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, he was.
Yeah. He was. Yeah, I'm sure that's
no, he wasn't.
No.
Who? Yeah, David Moyes was in charge. He joined. He come in around November time, didn't he? FA Cup's in January.
Right.
That might be the only time he's lost back-to-back games at the London Stadium. Is that? But I could be wrong. So don't aim me out.
You can always put the asterisks in the league, Scott. You can always.
But this is anyway. It's pointless anyway because we're away.
Shut up, Scott.
But and still another game you can say, look, we ain't lost, and we've only lost 4 games out of 13 this season. So. Yeah, doing really, really well, and long may it continue. You know,
and the thing is, the positive as well is that Antonio might be back for Monday. He'll probably be on the bench, but how good would that be if the game's tight and you got 15, 20 minutes to go and you can bring on Antonio?
I'm not being honest, I know people are going to maybe slate me, especially Chelsea fans. We get a lot of stick from Chelsea fans. I think Crystal Palace defence is better than Chelsea's. Yeah, I really do. I really do.
Chelsea, they've got Thiago Silva and Kurt Zouma at the back, and they've got a good partnership. I think they went sound like 17 games unbeaten, or 15, 17 games unbeaten. They've lost their last 2, so they are a difficult team, and they've got some young, talented players. But at the moment,
they haven't beaten any team inside the top 10.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it'll be an interesting game, and it'll be an interesting game on Monday.
It's one of them. I'd be a bit more confident going into it if Antonio was fully fit and playing. I think he'd stretch their defence a bit more. I think Haller may be the type of player that suits Zuma and Silva as a centre-back pair.
Lanzini has to start that game.
Silva's tiny, Scott. Silva's tiny.
Yeah, I know, but he's got Zuma there, and Silva's
he's an experienced defender.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
He's been a bit error-prone lately, Zuma, though. He's made a few bad errors, so...
Error-prone. I don't know, yeah. Listen, we're all talking like we're going to beat Chelsea. Let's be fair. Let's get there.
Listen, if we can make it 3 in a row, like, if we can make it 3 in a row against Chelsea, that would be so sweet.
Set pieces are going to be key as well, because I think us and Nemu have got the top, top of the table for goals from set pieces, so that'd be interesting as well, because they were very vulnerable at set pieces last season.
We've been quite well at defending. So we've done quite well at defending set pieces. So
good to see Yarmolenko back as well.
Yeah.
Good to see him back on the bench. Things are good at the moment. You know I wanted to win today. Of course, I want to win every game, but the way the game went, I was happy with a point in the end when the whistle went. You know.
Let's look into. I
almost sat there and done a tie and just clapped.
Just clap for ages. Yeah.
Clapping for ages.
I tell you what though, like back on the transfer window, they have to back Moyes. They didn't back him in the summer.
They ain't backing shit, Dan. They ain't backing nothing.
I don't think they're backing like we expect them to, but I can see at least 2 or 3 players coming in, whether they be loans or free transfers or whatever.
I don't want to see just like Dawson's. I don't want to see backups and squad players. Like we need to strengthen the starting 11. We need that. We need someone who's going to push in.
Yeah.
If we're serious, we're doing well. We just want to try and get over the line. We have an opportunity to get into Europe. We have an opportunity.
They ain't backing shit.
Dan,
There's no way they're going to put a fucking penny up at the minute, mate. They're fucking struggling as it is. They're talking about fucking COVID and how much it's all, we knew it was all going to be excuses. As you say, Ed, sometimes they treat us with such disdain that they don't think we can see what's going on around them.
What was you going to say, Scott?
No, I'm saying I agree with what you were saying. Right, we do need a player. We need players to bring in players who are going to be first team players. But January transfer, as I said, it's too difficult. We're not going to get that. We're going to get
Bowen Souček. That's all I'm saying. We've done it last January. Yeah. Why can't we do it this January? We can do this.
I don't think we need much to this first team. I just think we need players I just think we need quality that can come off the bench. I think the way we play, he's going to set up as Antonio as our main striker. So as long as Antonio's fit, he's going to be our striker. Yeah, so we need someone that can challenge him. And if you brought in like a Josh King, just for now, you'd have Haller and Josh King both on the bench, ready to come on.
I don't think you can rely on Antonio being fit, though. I don't think that's something you can rely
on. We need a player with pace as well, and attacking with pace.
Yeah.
That's the thing, because, Haller, we've got the hold-up play, but like Nicky says, sometimes he ain't physical enough. Josh King, again, it worries me with him not playing at the minute and stuff like that. It's going to take him.
But He's only not playing because he wants to leave Bournemouth.
Yeah, but this is the thing as well. Like everyone talks about Arnautovic, and we slate Arnautovic. He's doing the same thing. He's down in talks. He's throwing the strop. Do we want someone like that at our club if he's doing that to Bournemouth? And then we Brian does it to us.
Yeah, I know what you're saying there, but I see people talking about Arnautovic during the week. Look, I'm not taking away Arnautovic's talent from 2 years ago, but I won't want Arnautovic anywhere near this team. He'll come in and disrupt this squad, disrupt this team. We don't need him. David Moyes don't need him.
He's shit now. I'm sorry. I guarantee you will be shit now. I don't know why people are crying for Arnautovic.
He walked out when we needed him, and fuck him.
A lot of people are talking about Odebeku, Odebeku in the the under 23s, who's doing quite well. I'd like to see him maybe given a little chance and have him on the bench if we've just got Allaire as our only fit striker.
That's the thing. That's the thing. You've got to look into that. If we're not going to dip into the transfer market, you'll be looking at the youth to try and bring someone through, even if it's just there, especially through this sort of January, December into early January period where we've got a lot of games. But just quickly on Allaire, I've got to check this stat, but someone's put a stat in the comments saying Allaire in this season, 6 starts, 3 goals in the Premier League, 3 starts, 4 goals in the Cup.
Yeah, he's 7 and 15 or something. That's to sniff at.
Yeah, that's a goal every other game when he starts.
Do you know what the thing is, Scott? And I think the thing is, when you become someone, when you've got that sort of like the scapegoat thing on, you've got the spotlight on you, every time you don't put a 10 out of 10 in, everything's just hyper focused, right? Like say Bowen is not in that category, so Bowen will get overlooked if he has a bad game because people like Bowen. When he's good, but if you're in that scapegoat category, like a Allaire, Fornals can get in there, Diop's in there, and a few players, every little mistake you do, if you're not putting a 10 out of 10, hyper focused, critical.
Of course it is.
I just think we need somewhere in the middle.
You see people see the chances he missed against Leeds. You don't see the fact that he got in the positions and just had one of them days where things are not going right for you. People were too busy to jump on the he's crap.
Strikers have them. I mean, Aubameyang's a great striker, and he went 14 games without scoring. So strikers do have it, but it's frustrating sometimes when
certain players get it. Like Dan's saying, certain players have made the scapegoat, and then other players go under the radar.
Yeah.
One of the players that's gone under the radar about his performances has been Fornals.
I mean, there's been times
his work rate's good. But how many chances has he missed game after game now?
There's been times, Scott, where we used to sit here and slate Antonio for his performances, and then he goes on a goal-scoring streak like he has, and we're all praising him. So it's what happens. Allaire could go 3 or 4 games now with scoring, and people forget about
another stat. He scored as many goals already this season as he did in the whole of last season, and we're further away through the season. So give him a chance. Let him have a good run in the team. Get Ben Rama in there. Let him get a feel with the players, and the players a feel of him. And let him just.
One thing I would say about Allaire as well, and touch wood, I don't want to jinx him here, but he's not really injury prone, is he? Like he's never sort of out injured, is he? So fair play to him. And you see him in training. He always smile on his face, and I know a lot of people want to see him. I want to see it. I'd love to see him celebrate and do a big cheesy grin to the camera.
I think that's it though. Like you can see he celebrates with the players. I think he gave a really good post-match interview. He's just a cool guy. He keeps a lid on his emotions, and I think get behind him. Everyone needs to just get behind him. Get behind the whole team. Diop, whether it's for now, we're doing well. There's no reason we should be on anyone's back. We're 6th in the league. We've only lost 4 games. It turned out to be a really good season.
And it's Christmas next week.
Yeah.
It's Christmas, bloody hell. That's come around bloody quick.
Do you know what though? A front 4 of Allaire, Bowen, Lanzini, and Ben Rama. I can see that them 4 causing Chelsea a lot of problems in the next game. A lot of problems, especially with Lanzini and Ben Rama. They've got that ability to float sort of all over the place.
The good thing I like about is that players always remember the previous games against each other. And could you imagine it being a tight game, or we're 2-1 up or whatever, and we bring on Yarmolenko after what he done last season? But that'll be in Lampard's mind, and it'd be on the players' minds that played that day. We've got players that can cause problems for Chelsea, but they've got players that can cause us loads of problems as well. So
yeah.
Well, listen, it's either going to be a close run game, or they're going to run away with it. I don't think there's going to be any other way. I think that it's going to be,
I just don't like that we're playing on Monday night and all the weekend games have already happened. That's the only thing I don't like.
Do you know what? Is anyone else getting fed up with all these late kickoffs?
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, but what can you do, Scott? It's a pandemic, mate. They need to show them.
What are you doing? What are you moaning for, Scott? You ain't paying for it, are you? What are you moaning about diesel for?
That'd be cool. Yeah, no, but I know what you mean. But no, at the start of the season, we had a lot of them, didn't we? We had a lot of late kickoffs.
We seem to have it. I'd like to know how many late kickoffs we've had this season. We've had a hell of a lot.
I reckon I wouldn't be surprised if we was up there like top 1, top 2 for late kickoffs, mate.
Yeah,
it would not surprise me one bit.
Well, long may it continue because we're doing well. So
yeah, and you know what? Like I said, I think if you sit back, right, and you take a step back and look at the season, you think, wow, things are really going well. Where we were last season as well. It's what I mean. I'm just thinking it's a real positive.
Two losses in our last 2 games.
What's occurring with the fans? There was no fans there tonight, was there?
Tier 3, mate. Tier 3.
I think the only clubs is Southampton, Brighton, Liverpool, and Everton are the only clubs that can have fans at home at the moment. So it's frustrating because I know one of my mates that got in the ballot tonight, and he was looking forward to getting back, and then it gets taken away from him.
He came back and we lost.
This is what I was saying last week about it all, like with the crowds. What's the point?
I agree, mate.
The disease is still rife. You know what I mean? Like they're going to keep on doing it. And the more you put people together, the more it's going to spread. No matter what you do, you know what I mean? It's going to be. I just don't see the point of keep on giving people false. I think they're giving people false dawns. There's a false hope all the time, and
I think they just tried to give people some sort of enjoyment. I mean, even last night when I was watching the darts, it wasn't the proper darts crowd that we're used to seeing, but then people just looked happy to be back. They can't be there tonight, and that was the thing. They're there last night. They can't be there tonight. So I think they're just trying to get people some sort of enjoyment back into their life. But I'm with you. They shouldn't have brought fans back this early. They should have left it. Even if they would have said, right, look, we're going to wipe this season off, but we're going to try to aim for the last 3 or 4 home games.
He's going to end up getting wiped off.
No, but what I'm saying, if they would have said, like, we'll look around April time, the last 4 home games, try to get crowds back, but it is what it is at the moment.
Do you know what? I haven't heard. I don't know if you guys have heard from anyone who actually went to the game to see what the experience was like. Because I haven't actually talked to anyone to see actually what it was like going to.
Well, Scott would have went, wouldn't he? He got a ticket.
Yeah, it was. Bottled it big time.
Yeah, bottled it. Shit himself.
No, there's no. When you go on there, right? There's no option to say like you don't want to go because you don't feel safe or something like that. Like, I was busy. I was doing something, so I couldn't go. But there's no option for that. The options are you self-isolating? Are you caring for someone? Are you in an area that's tier 3 and can't travel? There's nothing in there to say, look, if you really feel unsafe about going, do you want to not go? And I think that's quite bad of the club not to have that in there, that you have to sit there.
Yeah, but they can't really say that because they had that option at the beginning. You could have just paid 30%, and that is the option.
Yeah, true in a way, but it's just one of them things. If you had the money at the time, and at the time when it was time to renew, you thought, no, I'm not too worried about it. You're allowed to change your mind.
No, I understand, but it is what it is at the end of the day. I don't know. I don't know why they can't just do the ballot and then see how many come back and then do the ballot again.
Oh yeah, my cousin was there. He never told me.
Just before we go, one other thing I think we should mention about 2 former West Ham managers today. Bilic getting sacked, Big Sam going in. Crazy, isn't it? Crazy how football. Obviously Bilic replaced Allardyce at West Ham, and now vice versa at West Brom. And
I just think that's a bit of a fucking mental time to sack him.
I think, to be honest, mate, I think that was expected.
On the cards, isn't it?
I think they was expecting to get smashed at City last night, and it was already a done deal. You don't just do a deal like that the next day. I do feel for Bilic, but when you look at his record over the last 20 games, you know, if he was at West Ham and that, well, he was at West Ham, but if he was at West Ham now and, you know, we had that sort of run over the last 20 games, people would have been calling for his head.
Where did West Brom expect to be? Where do they expect to be? They were right where
fourth from bottom would have been a great season for West Brom.
That's what I mean. Being in a relegation battle is where they should have been. He got them promoted first time we're asking. They didn't really invest properly. You know what I mean? He didn't want Dean Garner on a permanent. He wanted him on a loan and invest the money in other players. He didn't get that. They sold the other geezer defender under his nose.
Yeah.
And what did they expect? They weren't going to be up there.
And they were playing poorly towards the end of last season. I think they've been poor since March.
Do you know what I think? Do you know what I think as well with these newly promoted clubs? Their owners looked at what Sheffield United done last season, and it's, you know, that was a one-off what Sheffield United done this season. Look at what they're doing this season.
Yeah. So, one of the worst teams in the history of the Premier League.
All fucking season, I think.
I disagree that West Brom have been poor since March, because I think they've had some really good performances, but the results haven't been there. You know,
I watched the Everton game last night. They played really well last night, and they looked like a team that were playing for their manager, whether they knew he was getting the sack or not. But yeah, I mean, Big Sam will come in now. He'll get a couple of experienced Premier League.
He should have held out for the Arsenal job.
He'll get a couple of experienced players in January, and he'll probably keep them up by the skin of their teeth. But I know there was a lot of West Brom fans on the radio that ain't happy. There are a lot of them like Bilic. So it's
the first time they were playing attacking football. They was finally playing. And now they've gone back to the old shit.
Yeah, they're going back to that goofball, aren't they? That's the thing.
Back to their roots. They finally was playing some good football.
This is the thing. There's people complain. There's Palace fans who complain about Hodgson because it's not very entertaining. It's what you want. You know, at the end of the day, you've got to look at what are your ambitions for a season and what do you want to do. You know, if you want to finish mid-table, then you have these managers like the Allardyces, like the Hodgsons and all that, who you're going to be well organised, you're going to be hard to beat, and you're going to.
That's down to the chairman, isn't it? At the end of the day, because there's so many different fans that are going to want different things. You know, it's down to the chair. It's what the chairman wants to do. Because you get different managers. If a manager wants a flair manager, then he has to back him with money. If he wants someone just to keep you up and make sure you're solid, you're going to get Sam Allardyce, who's going to come in and do it from next to fuck all and you know, take all the stick. I never disliked Allardyce, to be honest with you, when he was with us. I think he was doing a good job. I think he was building a good team. I think he was doing like what he did at Bolton, and that's solidify, make sure that you're hard to beat and all of that sort of thing, and then get to the point where you start adding a bit of flair. And that's what he did at Bolton. That's what got him, you know, close to Champions League football at Bolton, you know, with the like and you know, JJ Okocha and all of that sort of thing coming in. And he was starting to add them sort of flair players like Valencia and things like that. They told him they was going to sack him at Christmas. We was about this position at Christmas, maybe a bit higher that year that he got the sack. And you know, they just ended up jacking in the tower. It all depends what they want to do. For West Brom, they've got this model. They've had this model for a long time where they want to go up and down, collect the money, collect the parachute payments, collect the money, collect the parachute payments, and try and solidify themselves that way. They've had that model for a long time, for years, for about 20 years now. You know, I bet you if you look at the relegations and promotions, I bet they're up there with one of the ones that've been up and down the most. They just want to keep on collecting that money. Don't want to invest. Sam Allardyce is a perfect opportunity to do that for them.
Yeah, I think it'll keep them up. And as we were saying, like what you were saying about Big Sam, I mean, I always liked Big Sam at West Ham. I thought sometimes he got harsh criticism. I know his football wasn't great all the time, but, you know, without Big Sam, you know, we might not be here now as a Premier League team. He's the one that brought us up. When that club was on their fucking knees, let's be right. He brought in Kevin Nolan from the Premier League. He come from Newcastle. He was their captain. Come down to West Ham. He brought in some good players, got us up, kept us up. And maybe when he left, it was the right time for him to go. Bilic come in, had that amazing first season. Probably, well, we all know we probably overachieved that season, but we had players like Dimitri Payet who dragged some of them players through that season. Bilic always had a tough task when he, as the first manager at the London Stadium, you know, to make that move. It was always going to be tough for him. But yeah, I mean, I feel sorry for Bilic, but I'm quite glad to see Big Sam back in work. He's good character. It'd be good when he comes up against Moisey.
He said he wouldn't take these type of jobs anymore, and either they've paid him a shitload of money or he's desperate to get back into.
But you know what? I didn't realise he's got connections with West Brom, innit? He's from the area. I think he was
West Brom.
Yeah, when he was younger, he played for West Brom, so he's got the connections with West Brom. So that's
they could have gave that money though, because they've obviously paid Bilic his severance money and paid Sam a big load of money. They could have just gave him Bilic that money in the bloody transfer window.
Big Sam's only doing it for 6 pucker pies and a large chips.
That's true. I've heard that bit. Stack of gravy and he's done.
That's the thing. Big Sam's been out of football for a little while now.
Who was his last job? Everton, wasn't it?
Everton, yeah.
Mate.
He's a good manager.
And even then, I remember when he came in at Everton, they were 4th from bottom, and they finished 8th or something, and then they sacked him, didn't they?
Yeah. That's the thing. He does do that. He is a manager that will, like Nicky said. I get what Nicky's saying. The thing that done it for me with Allardyce was the fact that when we were playing well, as soon as Carroll come back fit, when we were playing well with Valencia and Saka up front, as soon as Carroll back, he changed everything back to suit the players he wanted to play. You know, he didn't. We were playing well. We didn't keep the same side that was playing well. We threw his players back in, and that's what ruined it for me.
I remember once Carroll come back and fucking against Man United, and he took fucking Carlton Cole off after 15 minutes because he couldn't wait for him to get back on.
No, that was Southampton away, wasn't it?
Oh yeah,
Carlton Cole had one bad touch in 10 minutes, and he went right off. Get on, Carroll.
And that's the thing. That's what.
I remember Carlton Cole as he was coming off, going like that.
I ain't done nothing, boss. Nah, yeah, as I said, I do feel sorry for Bilic, and I'm sure he'll be back in football soon. Good manager.
Yeah. Can we wrap it up there, boys? I've got.
Yeah. I don't think that's what?
West Ham. I just decided to go West Ham because we was talking about West Brom and all of that, so I thought I'd end it with West Ham. Come on, West Ham.
West Brom fan TV.
Yeah, you're right.
Thank you very much for joining us on this edition of West Ham Fan TV's Post-Match Point. As you can see in the description down below, you can buy merchandise, which includes these Christmas jumpers. You've got to get them before
Christmas.
I think it's tomorrow is the last local post. I think international post has already gone. But local post, get these before Christmas Day. You can get them on our website.
If anyone orders them in the Essex, London area, can't you dress up as Santa and deliver them?
Listen, if they want me to deliver them, I'll get them delivered.
Oh, you can't though, can you? Tier 3.
No. I'll chuck them at your house.
Yeah, you have to lob them over the garden. You'd be like a Hermes delivery driver.
Yeah, I'll just ride along on my bike and just fling them at people's houses. I do a couple of fried eggs as well and chuck them one as a bonus.
What, you going to drive around with fried eggs?
With fried eggs, yeah, with fried eggs. I just flick them with a little fucking, I don't know what they're called.
Spatula.
Yeah, so you can get them there. You can become a patron. The link's in the description down below for that as well. Go and join us on Facebook, facebook.com/West Ham Fan TV. If you're new around here, subscribe, leave the like button. Hit the like button. It really helps us out on YouTube. Share the video. Go and follow us on Twitter, Instagram, all of the stuff, the social media stuff. But other than that, boys, is there anything else to say?
No.
Just one thing, I think.
One thing left to say?
Yeah, there's one thing left to say.
Come on, you
Iron.